Hey guys, Shane here, Ozflight Simmer. Welcome to another episode of Test Drive. Now, if you haven't seen one of these before, this is where we take a scenery, an aircraft, or utility in all different types of flight simulators and we'll take it for a spin around the block. And I'll give my recommendations. Is it value for money? So before we get started, why don't you hit that subscribe button and you'll be able to see some more content. So in today's video, we are going to check out the V-Flight, their Piper Cherokee PA-140 original. Now this aircraft has taken a facelift of recent times to work with everything that comes with 11.3. The team at V-FlightAware have basically said this aircraft has been pretty much rebuilt up from scratch and is nearly a whole new aircraft. They have also included some additional features such as two different panels. One's a VFR panel and one is an IFR panel with the Garmin G430. But within saying that, let's take a closer look of the outside of the aircraft and see how they did well with the modeling and texturing of the 140 Cherokee. The 140 comes with a bunch of liveries from all over the world. I'm using one of the US liveries as we are in the new Sedona for X-Plane, so I thought we'd check that out and fly out from here. And to my surprise, for the price that I paid for this aircraft, and it's the second V-FlightAware aircraft that I've flown, the exterior and the 3D modeling has been done to a very, very high standard. I was really surprised of the standard of this aircraft, and it is super good quality. The team mentioned that they had access to a real-life Cherokee 140 and also some pilot time in command. So they've really used that to bring out the great F-mod sounds, the animations, the liveries, the PBR texturing in X-Plane to make it a great rendition of the Cherokee 140. Also, as you can see here, you can display or get rid of the static elements, and also you can add or remove the fairings for the wheels. But now I think it's time to start the aircraft up, so why don't we jump in the cockpit and get it going. Welcome to the cockpit of the 140. Now before we start going through the startup procedures, just going to pop out the kneeboard here. This is just your little options menu where you can add your payload and your fuel. You can add and remove your static elements, and you can add your wheel fairings on there as well. Also, it's a good option, you can swap between your panels. So this aircraft comes with two different panels. One is a VFR panel, the other one is an IFR panel that has the GPS. So we're going to use the IFR panel, which will switch back now. And now we'll just close the door. One of the good things about this aircraft, pretty much anything in the interior has been modeled, so even all the fuses. So we'll pop out some fuses and pop them in, and everything has its own distinct sound, which is really nice. If you have a Cytec switch panel, pretty much everything, all the buttons are binding. That's what I'm using today, and we'll be using that to go through the startup procedures. So I'm going to be quiet now while we go through the remainder of the startup so you can hear the engine sounds. We are all ready to go and configured for taxiing. Everything is in the green and the engines are warmed up, so we're going to pull out here. The first thing I noticed when I taxied this aircraft is how smooth it is. It handles absolutely phenomenal. I would have to say that is the biggest surprise with this aircraft, is how it handles on the ground and also how it handles in the taxi. It is super smooth and very accurate and response. This thing is a dream to taxi around and also fly. So we're just ready to take off. We've just got a couple of housekeeping things. So we'll pop the window up, and now we'll put our headphones in. As we rev the engine up, it'll be louder. So obviously when you put the headphones in, it changes the sound. I'll put the transponder onto VFR. and flaps down 1 notch, and we are good to go. You'll find that rotation speed be just under 60 knots. It doesn't take long on 1 notch flaps till this thing wants to take up. So we're going to line up on the runway. I'll be quiet now so you can hear the sounds of the aircraft as we depart Sedona. And we're going to fly around a little bit, check out the surrounding areas, and we'll make our way back.
Okay, it's up to you. We can go around, we can do a circle, whatever you need. We don't want to inconvenience you. No, don't worry. I'm straight on in. All right, thank you very much. And there with the Victor, we're clear of the runway.
There we go, that was pretty straightforward. The aircraft doesn't bounce around too much at all, pretty much stays straight down the runway. Even though we had a little bit of a crosswind, it was easy to handle and didn't have to put too much effort into the rudder pedals, which is quite nice. So we're going to keep climbing a little bit here, and we'll make a right-hand turn and begin our little sightseeing tour and see how she handles in the sky. As we make our right-hand turn here, the guys at V-Flight Aware claim that the aircraft is being beta tested by 3 real-world Cherokee pilots. Some of the extra features that come in the aircraft are simulated Bluetooth music, simulated radio squelch and noise. All the fuses are all operational, as I mentioned before. Many vibration effects such as exhaust pipe, ignition key, ailerons and stabilizer, all animated to appear that they shake and vibrate when the engine is running. Spinning wheels, a blur effect, and when the wheels are spinning faster than 20 knots, the textures are replaced with a radial blur effect to add more realism. A modeled rain and ice textures for the windows. So we've been saying that, we're going to quickly throw to a montage, and we'll come back and we'll check out the cockpit in the air a little bit more. Welcome back to the cockpit of the 140 as we take a quick tour around of this very high quality detailed interior of the Cherokee 140. As the aircraft is old in real life or had many years of age, they have replicated that in the internals of the cockpit. All the gauges have the options for reflection, so you can add them on or take them off, and everything is in 3D as well. I love how the key chain there rattles around and vibrates as well. In this flight we are using the IFR panel, which has the GPS, and as we take a quick look at the back of the cabin, you can see the detail is extended all the way through. We're going to take a quick montage now. We're going to come back to you on the approach. Welcome back to the cockpit of the Cherokee 140. We're on a final approach in. We're pretty much all lined up. There's a little bit of a crosswind and there's some traffic on the runway, so hopefully World Traffic 3 behaves itself. We'll see how we go. But all in all, my comments on how the aircraft flies is absolutely stunning. This would have to be the second best GA aircraft that I've flown in X-Plane thus far. It's right behind the TBM, and for $24.95, wow, that just says something in itself. So this is a version free. If you got the versions before this with this update, it's absolutely free. But if you're like me that's never picked it up before, we've only had this aircraft for a couple of days, it was a nice surprise. But with been saying that, I'm going to be quiet now, so please enjoy the approach into Sedona.
right downwind with 7.
Traffic, Copeland 87 Juliet with a glider in tow, departing runway 17 to the west.
Whoa, easy on the brakes. World Traffic 3 decided to put a Cessna or leave a Cessna on the runway, so we're just going to depart the runway here. But the P140 really handled that quite nice and easy. We sort of did a slow and shallow landing and was able to pull up within time. So within saying that, why don't we check out the replay? Always a scenic approach into Sedona, you can never go wrong. So my final thoughts on the Piper Cherokee P140 original from V-Fly Air. Well, what a surprise was this one. For a price of $24.95, you cannot go wrong. Is it value for money? Yes, absolutely. From the exterior of the aircraft is absolutely phenomenal, pretty much a 10 out of 10. The interior is pretty close behind it, and most things are functional and have been modeled into the aircraft. The flight characteristics of the aircraft are an absolute treat to fly, and I'm having a ball. This aircraft would easily make it in my top 10 GA aircraft of all time, and I'm glad I picked it up and took it for a test drive. So, is it value for money? Absolutely. If you haven't picked it up, I'd highly recommend taking a look. So within saying that, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and drop a comment and say hello in the comments below. It really helps the videos along. And if you're new to the Oz Flight Simmer channel and you'd like to see more weekly content, please hit that subscribe button and the bell so you can notify when my videos go out every week, generally on a Sunday. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next week on another video, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers, goodbye. We are all configured and ready for taxi, so we're going to test the brakes. There we go, the brakes are working really good, and we're just going to make a left-hand turn right up here. And no, the brakes are working really exceptionally good, which means I'm going to have to do another take because our brakes are too good.